Supporters of Iraqi cleric Sadr Typhoon Baghdad's Green Zone. Again Baghdad. Thousands of supporters of Shiite populist cleric Muqtada al-Sadr stormed Baghdad's fortified authorities sector and broke into parliament on Saturday for the second time in a week, leaving as a minimum 125 human beings injured and escalating a political standoff. Protesters rallied by means of Sadr and his Sadrist movement tore down concrete barriers and entered the Green Zone, which houses government departments and overseas missions, before breaking into parliament. "We are calling for a central authority free from corruption, and those are the needs of the people," one protester, Abu Fode, mentioned amongst crowds of protesters wearing placards with Sadr's photo and country-wide flags. The scenes observed comparable protests on Wednesday, despite the fact that this time as a minimum 125 people inclusive of demonstrators and police have been wounded, according to a fitness ministry assertion. Sadr's supporters threw stones and police fired tear gas and stun grenades. "We Iraqis have persisted injustices because of the one's corrupt human beings," mentioned another protester Allah Hussein, 49. "I have 2 unemployed kids who graduated from college and I am unemployed. There aren't any jobs and this is all because of corruption." Sadr's celebration got here first in an October election, but he withdrew his 74 lawmakers from parliament after failing to form a central authority which excluded his Shiite opponents, most of whom are sponsored by Iran and have heavily armed paramilitary wings. UN frets his withdrawal ceded dozens of seats to the coalition framework, an alliance of Shiite events backed by way of Iran. Sadr has considering that made suitable on threats to stir up famous unrest if Parliament tries to approve a central authority he does no longer like, pronouncing it ought to be free of foreign have an effect on. Sadr's supporters chanted against his opponents who are now seeking to shape a government. Many protested in the front of the US of A's Supreme Court, which Sadr has accused of meddling to prevent him forming a central authority. In reaction, the coalition framework called on Iraqis to protest peacefully, in defense of the nation, its legitimacy and its establishments, an announcement study in a while Saturday, raising fears of clashes. The United Nations referred to as for a de-escalation. "Voices of purpose and expertise are vital to save you." Similarly, violence mentioned its undertaking in Iraq. Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi also urged political agencies no longer to escalate unrest. "Let this no longer devolve into clashes, and maintain Iraq stable," he stated in a televised cope with. Speaker of Parliament Mohammed al-Halbousi suspended all parliamentary consultation until similarly notice, the Kingdom News Business stated. Iraq has been without a president and top minister for approximately 10 months because of the impasse. Sadr, whom opponents also accuse of corruption, maintains massive state electricity himself due to the fact his motion stays worried in going for walks the U.S. His loyalists have long-term some of the allegedly maximum corrupt and dysfunctional government departments. Iraqis linked neither to Sadr nor to his warring parties say they are stuck inside the middle of the political gridlock. While Baghdad earns report earnings from its giant oil wealth, the United States of America has no budget, frequent power and water cuts, terrible training and healthcare, and insufficient task opportunities for the young.